So after they come back and they get great admiration, and the people of the city, oh, Gilgamesh, what a hero, and Enkidu, what a hero, what mighty men, what great heroes and warriors to have killed this huge giant, and look how huge this giant is, and his head is huge, and his body is huge. And Ishtar, the goddess, says to Gilgamesh, I want you for my lover. I want you to come and be my lover, and together we will have great enjoyment. And you will be my preferred lover, you who are so strong and virile. And Gilgamesh says, in this old tale, he says, I don't want to be your lover. Number one, I don't know what to give you. I wouldn't know how to feed a goddess, for example, the way I know how to take care of a wife. I wouldn't know what you need. And number two, and more importantly, what about the history of your previous lovers? What about Tammuz? Look what happened to him. He was your lover, and he got killed for your sake. And the people are still bemoaning him and crying, Tammuz, Tammuz, where are you? Where are you? Every year they cry for him. And what about the bird, the man that you turned into a bird? He was your lover, and now he's a bird with a broken wing who goes around flapping his wings in a paralyzed fashion. And what about the lion who became your lover? And look what happened to him. He got caught and killed by the lion hunters. And look about the stallion. What happened to him? He got caught and he got captured and made domestic, and he's now experiences the whip and the spur and the saddle. And what about that other man? And you turned him into a mole. He's under the ground. I don't want to be your lover. Look what happened to the others. And Ishtar was furious. This is a story of the male gods, the patriarchal hero warriors with their male gods, and their reaction of fear and distrust of the goddess and of the feminine. And Ishtar, it is said, went to her father Anu and said, Ishtar, Gilgamesh has insulted me tremendously, and I'm just enraged. And her father Anu said, well, you know what he said was true. That's your story. You did all those things. What can you expect? She said, I don't care. I've been grievously insulted, and I demand that you give me the bull of heaven to punish these people. And if you don't allow me to send down the bull of heaven to punish these people, I'm going to open the gates of the underworld and allow the dead to come up and eat food with the living. See how you like that. And he said, well, okay. You can have the bull of heaven. The old gods knew the power of the goddess, even though, it had been turned around where she's the daughter. Originally, of course, she's not the daughter, she's the mother of the gods. But that's how the myth got turned around. This myth is a very interesting myth of a hybrid of the old goddess culture myths, the old creator goddess, created the gods and the humans, and the new male god, sky god mythology. It flips back and forth from one point of view to the other. And Anu, her father, said, well, if you're going to send down the bull of heaven, have you taken the precautionary measures? I mean, the people will be out of food for 7 years, and there'll be a tremendous famine and so forth. And she said, I've seen to it. They've got grain stored up. They'll be okay. They'll survive. She sent down the bull of heaven, which some people say is a drought. Some people say, I prefer the notion that it was like a flooding. Tigris and Euphrates Valley probably flooded, had numbers of devastating floods that simply wiped out, because it said the bull of heaven came down, killed 100 men with his first snort, and his second snort, another 200 men, and another 300 men, wiped out hundreds of people, wiped out the cities, wiped out a major disaster, in other words. Gilgamesh and Enkidu attacked the bull of heaven, and in a great struggle, during which Enkidu leaped up on his bull's back, grasping him by the horns, leaped up on the bull's back, as they later on did in Crete. at the bull games. And while riding on his back, seizing his tail in one hand and the horns in the other, and then Gilgamesh cut into his throat and heart with a sword, killed the bull of heaven with a great crash, and dragged him into the city, adding to their great accomplishments. And Ishtar was even more incensed because now they had killed this semi-divine being that had been sent down by the gods. And the gods sat in council. And the oldest of the gods, Anu, said, "They have killed the forest giant Humbaba. They have killed the bull of heaven. One of them must die. Let it be Gilgamesh, the one who cut down the cedar trees." And Enlil, the sky god, said, No, Gilgamesh is my special protege, and it should be Enkidu who gets killed. Enkidu saw this whole scene, this god council, in a dream. And Shamash said, I don't think you should kill them at all, because after all, I helped them out. They came to me, offered me sacrifice, and I gave them allies. And Enlil got enraged at Shamash. See, the gods get enraged at each other. And said, yeah, well, you're like, you just go down there and hang out with those humans all the time. You're a real troublemaker yourself. So the decision was Enkidu was going to die. And Enkidu, actually there's an extraordinary story too, but even before he has this dream, where the goddess Ishtar goes up on the city walls and complains and inveighs against them. They've killed not only the forest giant, now they've killed this bull of heaven, this special animal that she sent down. And they're both defiant, and they say basically, fuck off, we don't care about you. That wasn't inscribed in the tablets. I added that in. And Enkidu, it says, took the right thigh of the bull, which might actually be a gloss for the penis of the bull. We don't know. It says, took the right thigh of the bull, and hurled it at the goddess, and said, this is what we'll do to you if we catch you. So they were naughty boys, to say the least, in relationship to the gods. They defied the gods. They insult the gods. This is what we still do. All the naughty boys in the big companies and the government. So after it was decided by the gods in council that Enkidu should die, Enkidu became sick and ill and started having these hallucinations, and had a vision of the land of the dead, where all the great kings and emperors, people of power and the priests and all were wandering around in this dusty gray world with no light, and sitting at tables with dust and eating food with dust, and the land of the dead. And he had other dreams, and he had visions, and he thought about his animal friends that he had left long ago, and he cursed, as I told you, the hunter, and he cursed the woman. And the god came and said, no, don't curse the hunter, don't curse the woman, they gave you this. And Gilgamesh was weeping and saying, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm just going crazy, I can't stand this, you're my best friend, you're my closest, think of all the adventures we've had together, and all the good times we've shared, and we're so close, and I'm going to miss you so terrible. I just can't tolerate this. What am I going to do? And Enkidu gets sicker and sicker, and he has this fever, and he's hallucinating, and he's raving, and 7 days, and 8 days, and 10 days, and then finally he dies. And Gilgamesh goes crazy and tears off his hair, his clothes, and starts wandering through the wilderness, crying his name. And Enkidu, my brother, my friend, my other self, has died. What shall I do? I must go on the great journey to find the secret of life and death and what this is all about. And that's another whole part of the story, which I'll leave for now, having told you the story of how Enkidu, the wild man, came to the city through the woman. How Enkidu and Gilgamesh together as hero warriors fought and slew and cut down the forest and killed the spirit guardian of the forest. And how Enkidu and Gilgamesh